Hello, YouTube. This is Mage Power, and I got one for you. My tabs are wide open because, well, frankly, I didn't get a chance to record much last week. I had a hurricane come through, and yeah, that takes priority over YouTube and Twitch, unfortunately. You know, when a hurricane comes through and decides to pay you a visit, you pay attention to it. And that took up most of my time outside of work. So, anyways, I'm catching up on quite a lot here, so I'm going to speed through quite a bit of this. So, if you need to pause to take a break, catch up, whatever, be prepared. This is probably going to be among my longest videos, if not my longest yet. So, just real quick running through this because I know most of you have probably already seen the maximum gold reveals. Keep in mind, these are not all the cards in maximum gold. However, these are all the cards that have been revealed. I'm just going to go ahead and scroll through this. Feel free to pause to just read the list and see where it is. Obviously, I'm not going to read them off one by one. Just feel free to pause the video so you can read as I keep scrolling down. So, just going to scroll for you. Obviously, we got the videos here for you from the various YouTubers that did get to open boxes. Obviously, go ahead and check them out. And so, with that, those are the cards that we have had revealed. Obviously, I'm just trying to run through this really lightning quick because this is a lot that I'm catching up on. We have Ghosts from the Past announced. These is going to have an OTS release. This is going to be our March set. The biggest thing about the set is we are getting the return of Ghost Rares. Obviously, we already saw Winged Dragon of Ra come in Ghost Rare. We saw how that went. I thought it went reasonably well. And so Konami has decided to double down, said, oh, you like Winged Dragon of Ra Ghost Rare? Here, let's do a couple more Ghost Rares. And they're not going to try and overdo it like they did with the Prismatics. I believe this says 5 new Ghost Rares. Either way, you can pause to read this if you like. I'm really trying to go right quick through this. We have a lot of Blazing Vortex cards revealed over the last week or so. This is the new Prismatic Secret Rare. We have Armed Dragon level 10. This is a Prismatic in the OCG anyways. Interesting that they would pick this. It is iconic though, so not bad. Could be a collector's card. And then we have Bluff Reach out of Blazing Vortex. Most of these cards I have not read. There's a couple I know what they do, but most of them, no idea. This one I know a little, but it's a field spell. When you conduct your normal draw during your draw phase, you can reveal one of those drawn cards, place it on the bottom of the deck, and if you do, draw one card. So that's already slow because you have to play this, wait a turn, then get that. Okay. When you draw a card or cards by a card effect, you can reveal one of those drawn cards, send this card to the graveyard, and if you do, place the revealed card on the bottom of the deck, and if you do that, draw one card. This card is Card Trader. It's Card Trader. This card's bad. Don't play this. This is a Duel Links card. Next, Stationary 1 o'clock linear accelerator. I think I've seen this. I don't know if I've read it. Normal trap. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. During the battle phase, declare a number from 1 to 6. Choose one effect monster your opponent controls. If the chosen monster's level times the declared number that you call, plus the number of cards your opponent controls, equals the number of cards in your graveyard. Okay. I'm sorry, what? If I had someone editing this video, you would have just seen the little, like, woman with the math equations popping up on the screen there. Yu-Gi-Oh! Players already can't read, and they struggle with basic math. Konami, you're really going to start introducing multiplication and addition in the same equation? You think Yu-Gi-Oh players are capable of this? Anyways, send cards from the top of your deck to the grave up to the number you declared, and if you do, shuffle cards your opponent controls into the deck up to the number of cards sent to the grave by this effect. If you do not, lose life points equal to the declared number times 500. Okay. It seems like the payoff is all right, but I'm still doing math here. If you want to work out the math on all that, you go ahead. I don't think it's worth it simply for trying to do all the math on that. And I'm not bad at math, but this card is too much math for Yu-Gi-Oh. Blazing Vortex, Daikaminari Cyclops. Okay, that's an interesting name. So, Kaminari. Oh, Cyclops, sorry. So, Kaminari already exists. This is now Daikaminari, and it's a pendulum, as I can see. So, scale 5, level 4, Wind Thunder Pendulum Tuner Effect Monster. That's a lot. Attack 1400, defense 1700. Alright, stats. Pendulum effect. Once per turn, you can target a pendulum monster you control. One monster your opponent controls. Change their battle positions. I guess not the worst in the world, but that's not that relevant anymore. Maybe if this were 15 years ago, that would have been relevant. Of course, this wouldn't be a pendulum then. If this card is special summoned from the extra deck, if this card that was special summoned from the extra deck is used for a synchro summon, it's a tuner, so decent possibility, banish it. Okay, so it banishes itself. Yikes. You can only use this card's named second and third monster effects once per turn each. If this card is normal summoned, you can change this card's battle position. So this is a super heavy samurai. Got it. If this card's battle position changes, you can target a face-up spell or trap on the field, destroy it. Okay. It has to get normal summoned to be changed by its own effect, but I guess if you're playing a deck, I think Karakuri would still be able to change this. So, like, maybe you could play that there, potentially, and get that. But this is also a once per turn, so I don't think you can really abuse that. But being able to destroy a spell or trap's not bad. It does have to be face up, but can deal with floodgate-like cards. This could be a possible answer for cards like Anti-Spell for Pendulum decks. I guess it's not terrible. If this card in the Pendulum Zone is destroyed, you can return one card in your Pendulum Zone to the hand. Well, we already have a card for that. It's Trampolinix. That was played. That basically says when you Pendulum Summon, you can bounce it back to your hand. I only remember it because it was played in Cliffort for a bit, actually, a long time ago. But I don't think this is necessarily that great. I don't know that I'd call this bad either, but I don't know that this will see play. Then we have a Monokujaki. That almost sounds dirty. This is a level 3 light fiend tuner effect monster. Okay, instant thing I see, level 3 tuner, so you could summon this off of a needle fiber. 1,000, 1,000, so stats are not great, but alright. You can now activate the effects of your other special summon monsters with the same attribute as this card. Okay, so if you control this card, you can't activate light monsters if they were special summoned. I think there's plenty of ways around that. Fine. Once per turn during this card's owner's main phase. That's an interesting clause. Quick effect. You can give control of this card to your opponent. Then you can change this card's attribute to any attribute until the end of the next turn. That's okay. That's interesting. I don't know that this will see play because you give your opponent a free monster at that point. Oh, so pardon the sun. I'm not normally alive when the sun's right in my face, but uh, if Link monsters didn't exist, well, this is actually also a tuner. So you could just give them a needle fiber for free with this, basically. I don't like this. You can do everything with this card, basically. You can make needle fiber, you can synchro with it, you can make a rank 3, you can do quite a lot with this card. If this card said you couldn't, fusion, synchro, Xyz, or link summon with this card, this might actually be a halfway decent card. But there's just not enough to restrict your opponent from using it that would make this relevant. It's an intriguing thought, but I don't think this is nearly enough for this to be good. Fluorescence. That's quite a name. Yep. Level 4 Light Dragon effect monster. Dragon, interesting. 1600 attack, 800 defense. Alright stats. Not great, but alright. When this card is normal summoned while your opponent controls a monster, so you have to go second with this. Fair enough. You could discard one card, send any number of fluorescence from your deck to the graveyard. Okay, does that do anything? Once per turn, if this card is in the graveyard, you can make this card in the graveyard become dark until the end of this turn. Okay, so you can instantly get a light and a dark in the graveyard. I guess, so you can summon this, discard a card, put 2 more in your grave. That can instantly set up something like a Levianeer. It's not bad. I feel like you're going very minus just to do this, though. There's probably better ways to accomplish this. I could see this being played as just like a one-off in some kind of mill strategy that uses chaos. Like maybe see this in Lightsworn, for example, just so that way you could get a dark engrave. Even though this is technically a light, the fact that this can be a light or a dark is actually kind of interesting and might warrant some play in particular strategies. But beyond that, I don't know if this will really be played. And then we have Archfiend Staff of Despair. What is this? Is this another Axe of Despair? So it is an equip spell. Okay, so it is an Axe of Despair. I was right. Equip only to a monster you control. You can only use this card's first and second effects once per turn each, so hard once per turn. During your main phase, you can make all phase of monsters your opponent controls lose attack equal to half the equipped monsters until the end of this turn. So if you have a 2500 attack monster, which is obviously reasonable, and you equip this, you can cut all your opponent's monsters by 1250. It is until the end of the turn, but if you can get multiple monsters on the field, yeah, that could be significant. I don't know that this will still see play just for that effect, but if this card is sent to the graveyard while equipped to a monster, you can pay 1,000 life, add this to your hand. So it can recur itself. That's not bad. And it's also the fact that it has to go while equipped. So, yeah, it's all right. As far as equipped spells go and what they're supposed to do, this isn't bad. It's still an equipped spell, so it's bad, but as far as equipped spells go, I could see it being played at a local level, or at, the next best equipped spell on your school playground. That's not terrible. Then we have Electromagnetic Railgun. Okay, this is looking very train-like. This looks like almost like Super Dreadnought, doesn't it? So, okay, this is just EMR apparently, but Electromagnetic Railgun. Normal trap, tribute 1 machine monster, then target up to 1 card on the field for every 1,000 original attack the tributed monster had. Destroy them. Okay. Yeah, I was kind of right. I think this is Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max. Or Juggernaut Lieb, one of the two. So, if you have a gigantic machine monster, if you have a 3,000 attack machine monster, for example, tribute that, target 3 cards in the field, destroy them. I don't think this is necessarily the greatest card in the world because it is a bit situational about what you can actually get on the field. But at worst case scenario, this is probably a tribute 2 or a tribute 1 monster to pop 2, which would make it an even trade. I think this is all right. Maybe. If you're playing a deck that can get this off well enough, like Trains, for example, I think Trains is probably one of the best examples of a deck that could use this. Perhaps. I think Drytron as well, perhaps. Drytron would be an easy one for this, actually. You tribute one of those Drytron monsters since they're machines, target 1 or target 2 cards on the field. I could see this happening. We have Ancient Warriors Saga, A Man's Honor. A man's honor! Not even Triff's honor. A man's honor! To support the new Lubu card. Okay, I'm assuming that's a card I haven't gotten to yet. You can only use this card's name's 1 and 3 effects once per turn each. It's a continuous trap. It's an Ancient Warriors. If your opponent special summons a monster or monsters, you can special summon an Ancient Warriors Dragoon token. Oh, look at that! We now have Ancient Warriors with Dragoon! It's a token, but it's with Dragoon! The tokens are Beast Warrior, Wind level 1, Attack 500, Defense 500. So, not big tokens, but alright. If an Ancient Warriors monsters would be destroyed by battle, you could send this card to the graveyard instead, so battle protection. When a card or effect is activated that targets an Ancient Warriors monster or monsters on the field, you can banish this card from your graveyard and negate the activation. So, from graveyard targeting protection, that's okay. You have to get it in the grave to do that, but so it offers a little bit of protection, offers the ability to summon a token, but the token is opponent reliant. It's okay. It's okay. Like the rest of the Ancient Warriors archetype, it's okay. Virtual World Gate Zhuangwu. I'm guessing at that. It's a continuous trap. You can only activate 1 card with this card's name per turn. You can only use this card's 1 and 2 effects once per turn each. During the battle phase, if you control another Virtual World Gate card, okay, so there's going to be more of them. You can target 1 face-up monster on the field, change its battle position. Woo! During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a Virtual World monster in your graveyard. Oh, Virtual World. Okay, I remember this. This was Datascape. So this is formerly the Datascape archetype. Okay, that's why I'm confused. You can target a Virtual World monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but its effects are negated, then send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. So you have to send a card from your hand to the graveyard to summon a monster back, basically. But you get to send it for free as part of the effect. I don't know if they get any kind of effect off that. But being able to summon it. And then, additionally, this is a trap card as well. So that's actually a quick effect. Even if it is only during your main phase. So this also has the potential to discard another one of these. Even if you can't use more of these per turn, the ability to put multiple of these in the graveyard. I could see this simply being a card that you Foolish Burial Goods in this deck. That's not bad. That's not bad. I apologize for the length of this video. We're only about halfway through. Simply seeing how long this is, I think I'm going to end up splitting this into a second video. So this one will come out first. This will be the Monday debut video. Feel free to see the second half of this video tomorrow, which will be Tuesday as of you guys seeing this. I'm recording this over the weekend because this is really the first chance I've gotten. I apologize for being absent for the week, but I'm sure you guys understand a hurricane. But if you do enjoy the video, be sure you hit that bell so you can see tomorrow's video, because tomorrow is going to be even more reveals from Blazing Vortex. And I appreciate you guys watching to the end of this now 21-minute video. If you did enjoy it, please hit a like. Feel free to drop a comment. I'm hearting all comments as soon as I read them, and a lot of them I'm replying to. There hasn't been too many comments yet on some of these videos, but I promise you every single one of them I have read, and I think I've replied to all of them so far as well. But, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and be sure to also check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/magepower, as it says right up here at the top. Anyways, this is Until Tomorrow, United We Stand, in Mage Power We Trust.